You're not overthinking for no reason. You're responding to inconsistency. And that's the part no one tells you, because from the outside, it looks like you're analyzing too much, reading into things, making something out of nothing. But from your side, it doesn't feel like nothing. It feels like something has shifted. Something doesn't add up. Something isn't steady. And your mind is trying to solve it. It's trying to create clarity where there isn't any. And that's how overthinking starts. Not because you're weak, not because you're dramatic, not because your environment feels inconsistent. And when ADHD is a part of a relationship, inconsistency becomes a part of the experience. One moment they're fully there, they're engaged, they're present, and the next they're distracted, distant, and unavailable. And your brain doesn't just ignore that. It tries to make sense of it. It looks for patterns. It looks for meaning. It tries to predict what's coming next so you can feel safe again. And that's where the loop begins, because you replay conversations. You question tone. You look at timing. You notice gaps. You start connecting dots that may or may not even be connected. And suddenly you're in your head, not because you want to be, but because you're trying to stabilize something that feels unstable. And here's where it gets misunderstood, because the more you overthink, the more it looks like the problem is you, like you're creating the issue, like you need to calm down and step back and stop analyzing. But what's actually happening underneath that is your system is trying to regulate uncertainty. And uncertainty is really uncomfortable, especially in relationships, because relationships rely on a sense of consistency, a sense of knowing where you stand. And when that's disrupted, your mind steps in to fill the gap. But ADHD doesn't operate in a consistent pattern. Attention shifts, energy fluctuates, engagement comes in waves. And when you don't understand it, it feels unpredictable. And unpredictability fuels overthinking, because your brain is trying to create control where there isn't any. So what do? You ask more questions, you seek reassurance, you check in, you try to get clarity, sometimes directly, sometimes in a subtle way, sometimes just by observing more closely. But here's the problem. The more you try to stabilize it externally, the more pressure builds in the dynamic, because from their side, it doesn't feel like curiosity. It feels like expectation, like they need to be consistent in a way that their attention doesn't naturally allow. And that creates tension. So now you're overthinking and they're feeling pressure. And instead of the situation becoming clearer, it becomes heavier, more confusing, more reactive. And this is where the pattern locks in. Inconsistency creates overthinking. Overthinking creates pressure. Pressure creates more inconsistency. And suddenly you're stuck in a loop that feels impossible to break. But the shift is not where most people think it is. The shift is not in stopping your thoughts completely, because that's unrealistic. Your mind is doing what it's designed to do. The shift is in understanding what those thoughts are responding to, because when you understand the pattern, the urgency reduces. You're not chasing every thought, you're observing it. You're recognizing that the overthinking is a response, not the root problem. And that changes how you engage with it. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. You create space between the feeling and the action. And that space is where clarity begins, because now you're not trying to solve something in a heightened state. You're allowing things to settle. At the same time, this doesn't mean ignoring your needs, because your need for consistency, clarity, and emotional safety is valid. But it does mean shifting how you seek it, not through pressure, not through constant analysis, but through grounded communication. And at the same time, in the right way. And this is where your self-relationship becomes the anchor, because the more stable you are internally, the less you rely on external consistency to feel okay. And that doesn't remove the challenges, but it changes how you experience them. It reduces the intensity. It brings you back into control of your response and more understood. Not because everything becomes predictable, but because you understand what you're responding to. And that removes a lot of confusion that keeps you stuck. So if this resonates, take a moment and ask yourself, are you overthinking, or are you trying to make sense of inconsistency? Because that one question shifts everything. And if you want to go deeper into understanding your patterns and building a stronger relationship with yourself as well as others, my book Fix Me is linked below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.